All right, we're gonna check out a couple of long-range crossbow scopes. One of these scopes will get you out to 130 yards, and one of them will get you out to 150 yards. The nice thing about that is you don't have to do anything else to shoot those distances. You don't have to shim your scope, you don't have to have a jack plate on there, you don't have to adjust your turrets or anything. So your hunting setup could also be your long-range target shooting setup. The first one we're going to check out is from UTG. It's the OP3 1.5-6x36. And the second one we're going to check out is from Killer Instinct. It's the Max View MV-36. I've heard nothing but good things about the Killer Instinct speed ring scopes, and both of these scopes that we're going to check out today are speed ring scopes.
The UTG scope is currently available from Amazon, and there is a link in the description below.
The first one we are looking at is the Max View MV-36 crossbow scope from Killer Instinct. Not currently released, hopefully released by the time you're watching this. This says 8/1/22 it will be released. It's a cool looking crossbow scope. This red ring kind of sets it off a little bit. And the nice thing about this one is that the reputation of the Killer Instinct speed ring scope is excellent. I've heard nothing but good things about it, and I've heard that 100 times about the previous speed ring scope from Killer Instinct. All right, so here's our little close-up view. Here's our reticle. We'll come right back to that. Top view. If this dial is like most illumination dials, then it's going to be kind of hard to turn. The only one I've found that is not hard to turn is the Hawk XB30 Pro, and the nice thing about that, it only has one color, so it's simplified, and I just like it that way. Also with the Killer Instinct scope, you have a speed ring that gets you from 340 feet per second to 460 feet per second, and it is a locking speed ring. Another view of it on the SWAT X1, and another view, and we're back to our reticle. So let's talk about the reticle. So looking at it at this size, it doesn't look like your 20 and your 30 reticles are too close together, but this is probably 9 inches, and the actual scope when you get it is going to be less than 2 inches across. So maybe these are going to be too close together. This is something I'd like to check out in person before I would make a purchase. But look down here, you're getting all the way down to 150 yards, plus this here is maybe 155 yards to the bottom of this. So if you're like me and you like to shoot long range, but you also want to hunt with your scope and you don't want to have to switch it out between hunting season and non-hunting season, this would be a pretty good choice, as long as these reticles up top are not too tiny. You're going to have 2-color illumination with this, 20 to 60 in 10-yard increments, and then 70 to 150 in 5-yard increments. Waterproof, fogproof, and shockproof as it should be. It says premium flip up scope caps, but let's look at these things. Those do not look like premium scope caps to me. Probably the ones where these pins easily slide out. So I think that's a little inaccurate, but everything else looks pretty cool. So I think that is a pretty cool reticle. There's not too much going on in your hunting reticle area to make things confusing. It's just the aim points. Let's move on to our UTG OP3 1.5-6x36 crossbow scope. This is one that I just discovered a few days ago. I didn't even know this existed. So with the UTG screws, Allen wrenches, you get scope rings. That's nice. Flip open caps. These are probably pretty junky. Cleaning cloth and a battery. The box, I actually like the fact that it looks professional. It doesn't just say crossbow scope on it. It doesn't just say made in Taiwan on it. So I appreciate the box is nice. It looks like your turrets will lift up and then lock back down into place. This dial here is your side parallax. It's one more thing that needs adjusted, but I think for hunting you'd be able to just set it at 30 yards and be done. But the nice thing is for target shooting, you probably could adjust this for your longer ranges and probably get more accuracy out of this crossbow scope. Here is where your battery goes, and there are buttons for your lights. And then it does say that this one will go back to the illumination level that you prefer. So I think with one button, you can get back to the previous lighting level that you had before. These look like decent scope rings. They have a little engraving here and looks like quality nuts here. Here is your focus on the back. There are your buttons for your red and green illumination. This actually has a scope level inside of it. Right now, these things are pretty cheap on Amazon. They are about $165 right now, which is less than I can get them as a UTG dealer from UTG. So I don't know how long they're going to stay that cheap, but right now that's where they're at. A level inside, to me, that is a premium option on a scope that does not have a premium cost. Okay, now the reticle. The reticle does not have the deer inside of it. It just has the black dots and the crosshairs. So this one says range estimation. This one says ranged. To the best of my knowledge, I'm saying range estimation, you put this dot at the top of the deer's head, and then wherever its vitals are, you know, your best kill shot location, is an estimation that this deer is 60 yards away. But I think if you have an adult deer, you put the top crosshair at the top of the deer's back, and then its vitals will more accurately tell you that the deer is 40 yards away, and that's the reticle you want to shoot with. I think that the average distance from belly to top of back is 18 inches for an adult deer. So if you have a better way to use this reticle to range the deer, please let me know. This reticle is getting you out to 120 yards, but the tip of this line is 130 yards. So out of these two scopes, I'd rather have this one, except for the fact that you are getting another 20 yards out of the Killer Instinct scope. Okay, a little bit more explanation of the reticle. A, the length span between dot pairs. I don't know what you use that for. Something with ranging how far away the deer is. B, point of aim for 20 yards. C, 50 yards. D, 130 yards. E, quick reference yardage indicators. Okay, so just telling you how far away your target is if you're using this reticle. And F, your bubble level. That's pretty cool to have that built in. You're really going to want to make sure you get this thing mounted level on your crossbow. I do have a video on that, and go to the card or description to check that out. It makes it really easy. This is the scope mounted to emission sub 1, another picture of the sub 1, and just another review of the different parts. You have your exposed turrets that are locking, your side parallax 10 yards to infinity, red green illumination. That's kind of cool how it's just buttons in the back. This should be a focus in the back. Here's your speed ring. Says AccuShot on the side. So yeah, I think you're getting a lot of premium features with this scope without the premium cost. And there's probably only about 2 or 3 manufacturers that make all crossbow scopes anyway. From Backyard Broadheads, these are 5-in-1 hangers. There's a 5-in-1 for most Raven crossbows, and the 5-in-1 R26 for the Raven R26. You can check them out on eBay or from backyardbroadheads.com. Both links are in the description below. This is another accessory for your Raven crossbow, the 4-in-1 light. It attaches and detaches in seconds. It's an extremely level bipod. It's a hanger. It's a kickstand. It helps you with cocking and decocking your crossbow. It helps eliminate death wobble from decocking. And then whenever you're in your tree stand, it helps stabilize the crossbow on your lap. And you can also rest it up on the shooting rail to keep your crossbow off of the rail and protect your crossbow.